And I'm back with the moment you've all been waiting for, my picks for week 5. Now, last week I went 11-4 with the 15-game slate, which bumps my win-loss total to 39-24. That's right, I have a 61.9% success rate when picking these games for the last 4 weeks of the season. So, without further ado, let's get into the second quarter of NFL action, starting with tonight's game, the Arizona Cardinals at the St. Louis Rams. Now, back then, if you heard about an NFC West matchup, you just point, laugh, and be like, oh, well, this game is going to suck. I'll watch it because it's football, but neither one of these teams are good. And you might want to look at them again because the Arizona Cardinals are one of 3 teams that's still undefeated. And you look at the St. Louis Rams. Yeah, they're 2-2, but they have been playing a hell of a lot better this season than they have in the last 4 or 5 seasons. So don't sit there and think that this is going to be an easy win unless they're away. You see what I said? Away. They're at home tonight. They play much more competitive at home. They're like the Seahawks. They play very competitive at home. And this is a division rival. This isn't a gimme. This isn't a gimme. So looking back and thinking on this, Arizona, that defense is playing great. Calais Campbell, Kerry Rhodes, Adrian Wilson, Patrick Peterson. That defense, Ray Horton has got that defense humming. Of course, you can't count out the incomparable Larry Fitzgerald, but the main concern for the Cardinals is the QB running back play. I mean, yeah, they have Kevin Cobb. Yeah, they're 4-0, but a lot of that has been attributed to how consistent that defense is, and Cobb kind of getting, a play done here and there, but you got to give that defense and special teams props for even having that team in the position that it's in now. Now, the Rams, new head coach, Jeff Fisher, he has instilled a new mindset. Like, basically, this is a veteran coach. Now, the last few seasons, they had Steve Spagnuolo, brand new coach, kind of in over his head. Jeff Fisher is a seasoned veteran at this, and you can tell by the way how that team is playing that they have a veteran coach in their presence. That secondary looks a hell of a lot better with Cortland Finnegan and Janoris Jenkins on each end. Of course, Chris Long and James Laurinaitis. They have a sneaky good defense too. I dare say that the best defenses come from the NFC West, and I'm talking all 4 teams. But and the Rams have this little rookie kicker who's been working magic for this team, Greg Zuerlein. I hope I said his name right. A Western Missouri State, I think, product. But his name has been ringing out, and for good reason. This kid has got a leg, and he's got an arm too. Through a touchdown pass. No, that wasn't him. Well, actually, I think it was him through a touchdown pass. But having said all that, who am I picking? I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think they're going to be motivated to play this game. Of course, they have nothing to lose at this point, which makes them even more dangerous because that means they're going to play all out. And I think the Cardinals better be careful not to fall into a trap. But I think they will tonight. I think the Rams get it done. I think they give the Cardinals the first loss of the season. So that's my major upset pick for this week. And without further ado, let's go to the games that are going to happen on Sunday and next Monday. We have the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Philadelphia Eagles going to Heinz Field to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Eagles had to be feeling really good about themselves. The game against the Giants, they were more balanced. They kept Vic clean, only 2 sacks, and 1 because he scrambled out of the pocket. But he stayed upright. They had a balanced attack, and the defense made plays. Steelers are coming off a bye week after taking an L to the Oakland Raiders, and they're at home. And I don't like betting against the Steelers at home, and I'm not going to. I think the Steelers pull this one off. I think Vic will get hit a lot in this game. I think Dick LeBeau will have a scheme set up to basically have Vic in panic mode. And I don't think they're going to let LaShawn McCoy run wild like the Giants did. I think they're going to look at the tape from that, and they're going to be ready for that. So I have the Steelers winning this game. The next game, the Green Bay Packers at the Indianapolis Colts. Um, as an NFL fan, I want to send prayers and wishes to the head coach of the Colts, Chuck Pagano, who was diagnosed with a treatable form of leukemia, but nobody ever wants to hear about themselves having a major disease on their birthday. So my wishes and prayers go out to the Pagano family and the Indianapolis Colts organization. Now, said all that, you have the Packers, who are coming off a win against New Orleans in very dramatic, if not during the game, controversial fashion. But it was a win. A win is a win. They're going into Indy to play a Colts team. It's pretty, like I said, they're still a work in progress. Rookie QB. I think Green Bay is going to go into Indy, and I think they're going to win this game. I think they just have a little bit too much firepower, and I think if that pass rush gets going with Clay Matthews, if he can find a way to get in that backfield, it's going to be a long day for Andrew Luck. So, but with Aaron Rodgers and that offensive firepower, I think it's going to be too much for Indy to handle. So, Green Bay in this game. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns at the New York Giants. Giants have to be pissed at the way their game against Philly ended, and they're going to take it out on Cleveland. Cleveland's going to be competitive. They've been a lot more competitive. Trent Richardson is looking like a number 4 pick. Brandon Weeden has settled in. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. He's not exactly on his Tannehill RG3 game, but for a rookie QB, he's a lot more relaxed than he was in Week 1. But they're going into the Meadowlands, and I think the Giants are going to get back on the winning track. They're not going to lose 2 in a row, especially to Cleveland. So, got the Giants in this one. Next up, another unbeaten team, the Atlanta Falcons, travel to D.C. to take on the Redskins. Now, this is a bold pick for me, because I'm actually going to pick the Redskins to win this game. I think RG3 is going to have a great game. Alfred Morris, that rookie, he's been playing extremely well, and I think he's gonna play well again in front of a home crowd rather. I like Atlanta's been great. Atlanta's been balling out. Matt Ryan balling out. Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez. I don't know what they're doing with Julio Jones, but I mean you got to count him as part of the offense too. But I think the Redskins might sneak this one out. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by the Falcons. They're going to be my bold pick. St. Louis is my upset pick. I'm going to go bold with the Redskins. I like RG3. I think he's going to make a lot more plays with his arm and leg. He's not going to make the crucial mistake that Cam Newton made. I think the Redskins are going to play a complete game against a tough opponent. Like I said, Redskins don't have anything to lose in this either. So, I think they're just going to be a little bit more dangerous. So, having said that, we'll move on. Miami Dolphins at the Cincinnati Bengals. I like Tannehill, what he's been doing. Like, he's been playing very, very well this season. And Brian Hartline, it's one thing for Sam Bradford to have Danny Amendola. It's another for Tannehill to have Brian Hartline and for him to actually have a receiver that gets downfield and goes 12 catches, 250 yards. Like, basically, who saw Brian Hartline coming? Well, if you kind of watch the last couple games of the Dolphins, you know that Tannehill looks to Hartline as his number 1 receiver at this point. And Reggie Bush, he's dinged up, he's banged up right now, but as far as him wanting to be a top-level running back, he's working his ass off to prove it. And the game that they had against the Cardinals, where Cameron Wake had 4.5 sacks. My gosh, I mean, it's almost as if they laid out the red carpet for this man. Like, Cameron Wake is not chopped liver. This guy is good, really good, and he really is the heart and soul of that defense for the Dolphins. However, they're going into Cincinnati, and I like Cincinnati at home. I like Andy Dalton. I like A.J. Green. I love what they're doing out there. It's pitch and catch with these two. It's like what Stafford and Megatron were doing last season, or Schaub and Andre Johnson. I mean, this young QB wide receiver duo, man, it's almost like they're joined at the hip. I mean, their communication on getting the ball downfield, to one another, it's incredible. And I like what they're doing with that. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, he's playing on a team that actually emphasizes and respects the running game. Now, New England's got a couple running backs out there, but they never really appreciated the run game like Cincinnati does, because they know the run game sets up the pass. And that no-name defense that Cincinnati has, I think they'll tighten up. I think they'll give Miami fits, and I like Cincinnati at home. So there. Next up, Baltimore, Kansas City. Baltimore. I'm done. I'm off the Kansas City wagon. I'm sorry. Every time I keep trying to pick you guys to do an upset at home or win at home, you get your asses kicked. I picked you to beat Atlanta. Oops. I picked you to beat San Diego. Oops. I'm not picking y'all at home, especially against Baltimore. Baltimore already curb stomped you in a playoff game at home 2 seasons ago. So why would I pick against them this time? Baltimore. Done with you, Kansas City. Seattle at Carolina. I have Carolina winning this game. Cam Newton's going to make a lot more plays, and Russell Wilson became mortal. And they're playing away. They're not at home. They're going to need him to step it up. They're going to need him to be a QB to get the ball down the field, because if they don't respect him as a QB, that's 8 in the box that goes up against Marshawn Lynch and Turbin. So, I got Carolina in this one. Simple as that. Chicago at Jacksonville. I got Chicago winning this one because it's the damn Jaguars. I've never seen a team play not to lose like the Jaguars have played. Like, it's almost as, I mean, seriously, they're the ones at the pool that dip their toes in the water because they're afraid of how cold it is or how deep the water is. You don't win games like that. And for one, you don't have the talent level to be doing something like that. Chicago, on the other hand, they're going to feast on Gabbert. It's going to be ugly. They're going to do Gabbert dirtier than they did Romo. They're going to sack the hell out of Gabbert. I don't know about the interceptions, but they're just going to sack the hell out of him. Chicago, big. Next, the most overhyped, overrated rivalry that I could think of in quite some time. And it's an ESPN, NBC hype. And if you watch the NBC pregame show, you know why Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison are even in that pregame show, is because of these two quarterbacks that are squaring off against each other. Although not the same teams as far as Peyton Manning is concerned, the Denver Broncos at the New England Patriots. Yes, Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Oh my gosh, what a storied rivalry. It's not been a rivalry. Tom Brady's been kicking Peyton Manning's ass. It's not a rivalry, man. But they need to pump something up to get a storyline going. It's not a damn rivalry. It hasn't been. Yeah, the Colts got their one. They finally found a way to beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game in the 2006 season. I guess that's why they're calling it a rivalry, after the Patriots seriously curb stomped the Colts with Peyton Manning at the helm year in and year out. How many times has Peyton Manning got washed by the New England Patriots? And he's going to get washed again at New England. I'm not a fan of Tom Brady, but I do know his skill set is damn near perfect at home with that offense. Now, the Cardinals will tell you different because they figured out a way to beat his ass, but Peyton Manning has yet to figure out a way to beat Tom Brady at New England. And I don't think he's going to figure it out this time. So, New England at home. Don't be a fool. New England's going to win this one. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm bold enough to say that Tom Brady has owned Peyton Manning. Now, Eli Manning against Tom Brady. Next up, Buffalo Bills traveling West Coast to take on the 49ers. I have the Niners in this one. The Niners are at home. They definitely turned the corner after losing to Minnesota and thoroughly, just manhandled the New York Jets as if they were a D3 school. That defense is back in form. They even trolled the hell out of the Jets by even unleashing the Wildcat on them and working it. Colin Kaepernick got some work. He gonna get this work. That's what Kaepernick said when he lined up in that Wildcat set. And trust me, if you don't understand why I say he gonna get this work, you gotta look up Loaded Lux, Lux. Like seriously, I die laughing every time I hear this. There's even a couple gifs out with him saying he gonna get this work. I love that saying. That's like my new favorite phrase. So basically, when Buffalo goes to San Francisco, that Niners defense is gonna be looking at Fitzpatrick like he gonna get this work. So Niners at home. Tennessee at Minnesota. Minnesota, what a surprising team. Like I said, they were the team that knocked off the Niners. And Christian Ponder, Khalil, Adrian Peterson, Percy Harvin. Hell, that special teams ran wild last week against Detroit. And they're at home. And I don't know if you noticed this, but Minnesota, they're re-energized at home. They're revitalized. They're almost like Mario when he hits his head on a brick and a star pops out. You can't stop them. And I don't see Tennessee doing it. So, Chris Johnson, enjoy another 40-yard running day. 40-yard game, you chump. So, Minnesota at home. Next up, the Sunday night game, which if the schedulers knew that New Orleans was going to be 0-4, do you really think that this would be a Sunday night game? But it has an intriguing storyline because it's Drew Brees going up against the team that decided to let him go when they drafted Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers. So there is a storyline to this. Drew Brees, they let him walk. He goes to New Orleans and he wins a ring. Phillip Rivers, while having a statistically great career as far as passing yards and touchdowns, has yet to sniff a Super Bowl. But that's why you play the game, folks. And in this one, I got San Diego winning this one. New Orleans is a mess. New Orleans is a total mess. Drew Brees, while he's playing great, it's not like that Drew Brees of last season or the season beforehand or the season before that when you knew he could just slice and dice a defense and did it with confidence and swagger. There's just something missing. And plus, that defense is ass. Spagnuolo has not got that defense on track. Everybody talked about, well, the Giants went 0-2, and, when he was their defensive coordinator for the first time. Yeah, but they won 11 straight road games after that. And they won a Super Bowl. This team is pretty much statistically last in almost any and every major defensive category, and especially yards allowed and points allowed. And I don't see that changing. Phillip Rivers and that San Diego Chargers offense, they're playing mistake-free ball, a lot less mistakes than they were making last season. The big storyline for San Diego is Ryan Matthews. What the hell happened to him, man? Fumbleitis, they're saying he's in the doghouse. Jackie Battle is getting his goal line snaps now. Chargers fans, I was very high on Ryan Matthews when he came out of Fresno State, but I ain't seeing it. And apparently the front office in San Diego isn't either. It's time to cut your losses on that kid, because he ain't the one. But having said that, I see them beating New Orleans at home. Like I said, New Orleans defense is atrocious, even at home. And I don't see San Diego losing this one. San Diego on the road. Final game, Monday night game, Houston at the Jets. I got the New York Jets losing this game big. No matter how desperate they are, they're going up against a juggernaut in the Houston Texans. Now, who would have thought you would use Houston Texans and juggernaut in the same sentence? But they are. Offensively, defensively, special teams, complete. They are the AFC's biggest threat this season. And ain't no way in hell they're losing. So, Houston Texans on the road at the Meadowlands. And those are my picks, ladies and gentlemen, for Week 5. Hopefully your picks are like mine. Hopefully they're not. But hey, that's why we play a game. Once again, I went 11-4 last week, 39-24 overall. We'll see how my luck fares with my picks this week. So, having said that, everybody enjoyed tonight's game. Arizona Cardinals at St. Louis Rams. I'll be back with my what have we learned for next week. Until then, Adrian Mason signing off. And get that work.